Hey guys, happy Monday. You know what today is? It's Monday Morning Chats with Sack, and Sack is me. I hope that you guys had a great week. Now, last week I did not host Monday Morning Chats because it was the deadline to file, and I was just so exhausted. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to even do no chat. I'll just wait the following week to do it. But please excuse me. I just came back from the gym. I had to do my workout to start my day. It was leg day, so who missed leg day? Not me. So I'll feel it later on tonight. But other than that, I had a great week. It was a busy week. I co-hosted a bridal shower for my best friend and in outside of Philadelphia, and it was great. It was like a Tiffany and Co theme. It was really nice. Like, it was just really nice, and I'm just happy to celebrate her. And I told her, like, hey, this is all about you. I hope that you enjoy yourself. And I just look forward to being a part of your big day. Like, I'm just excited. Like, I'm excited when I see my friends get married. I'm excited when my friends get a new job. Maybe they get a new house or a new place. I just get excited about different things in their life that makes them happy. So whatever it is, I'm like team my friends. But it was funny because as I was driving home, my friends know me that if I go to Philly for an event, I'm coming right back to Maryland. Like, I don't stay. I had to be super tired. Or maybe I had a drink or so and I'm like, hey, I want to take this drive. But it would take a lot for me to stay. It's like really pulling teeth because I like going back home and I like sleeping in my bed. Like, I like coming to my house. Like, I love it. When I walked into my house yesterday and I was like, wow, it feels good to be home. And so I read something that said, you know, you should be grateful for the things you have today because at one point you prayed for the stuff. You prayed for these things years ago for the things you have now. And I remember 6 years ago, like, I prayed to have a house and I didn't get it. But it feels good to say, wow, like, I really got it, right? I really got the house that I prayed for. One of the houses, the next house would be even better. But I'm happy that the things that I prayed for today, like, most of them I have them already. So it feels, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. And so as I'm driving, right, I'm driving home on 95. And I was in, like, deep thought. And I was like, one, it was cool. I saw some people at the bridal shower that I didn't see in, like, over 10 years. Like, we communicate over social media. But it felt good to lay eyes on them. And I'm like, wow, it feels so good to see you. And I'm just like, these are like college friends that will be friends to the end. But as I'm driving, I just thought about, like, who's like my real true friends? Like, who are they? And the list was very slim. It was really slim. But my interpretation of what I define as a friend, as a best friend and friend, they're two distinct type of titles. And throughout my life, I was able to define what those titles mean to me. And I just realized that, wow, it ain't that many. But I realized I didn't care. I was like, you know what, the people that are meant to be in my life, my loyal friends, like the young lady that's getting married, that's like one of my loyal friends. And throughout the ups and downs, I know that she knows the most about me out of all my friends. And there's some stuff that she knows, like, she'll take that to the grave. You can't get nothing out of her. When it comes to me, nah, she won't tell you anything. And I just realized that it's okay. Like, and I told her, I was like, you know, at this point in my life, I don't care about having a lot of girlfriends. I just want loyal people around me because I'm loyal. And at this point in life, I just want to be around good souls, people that have good intentions, people that have good hearts. I don't want to be around people that are manipulators. I don't want to be around people that have nasty attitudes, that just hate life. I want people that be around people that love their self, that has a good soul, and just do right by people. Do right by people when no one's not watching. But do right by everybody, not a select few. Like, do right by everybody. those are the people that I really just want to be around. And if you don't fit that, I don't want it. And that's okay. That's okay. And so it all ties into my title today. And this past Bible study, the title was, how do I know that my healing is on the right track? And, I see things like on social media where they discuss about, you need to be healed, you need to do your shadow work, you need to do all these things. And I think sometimes people don't understand like the deep root of what healing is. And in my personal opinion, I don't think I think you can be healed from a situation, something that happened to you. But I think healing, honestly, is a journey. It's not like an actual destination, because life will throw you curveballs and you will go through things throughout your entire life. And just because you healed over one thing, it doesn't mean that however long that took you to heal over one thing, doesn't mean it's going to be the same for every situation that happened in your life. Sometimes it could take you a year to heal over something. Sometimes it could take you 2 years. But there will be continuous things that happen in your life where you may have to heal from. I just think once you do the work for one particular healing situation, it may help you progress with the healing moving forward. But I think, in my opinion, I think healing is a journey. Like, it is a journey. Like, it's something that you'll continuously go through. And throughout life, we change. Like, the things that I liked when I was 18, I don't like them anymore. The things I liked when I was like 25, I don't like them anymore. And so you got to be gentle with yourself, because throughout life, you will gradually change. And you got to ask yourself, okay, well, why don't I like this? Or is there something that triggers me? Like, what is it? What am I doing to deal with that? And so the title is, how do I know I'm on the right track with healing? So, of course, in Bible study, we looked at different scriptures. But the main focus that I talked about was emotional intelligence. I think that helps you make the decision like, hey, am I on the right track with my healing journey? And emotional intelligence is so important. In most, I can only speak for corporate America, and most corporate America jobs, you go through an emotional intelligence. Like, that is like during your whole orientation with some job. Like, you go through that where you're learning how to control your own emotion. Because remember, you control if you're happy. You control if you're sad. You control if you're upset. You can control if you don't bother nobody. Like, your emotions are your own. But the question is, how do you control those? If someone curse you out, how do you respond? Right? If someone sends an email to you that you don't like, how do you respond? Let's say that someone calls you with some bad news. How do you respond? Let's say you run across someone, maybe you're in the mall, maybe you're somewhere, you run across someone that really hurt you. How do you respond? Because most times when we say that we forgive someone, it's easy to forgive. My pastor says this all the time. Like, it's easy to forgive somebody when they live miles away from you. You don't have to see them. But when you see them, how do you respond? Right? And so I posed this question on social media. And I said, well, how do you know you're on the right track with your healing journey? And everyone has similar answers. And some answers was, the situation that hurt you, you look at it from a positive outlook. You have a positive objective instead of speaking from a point of pain. Or, it doesn't affect you anymore. And all these responses, they really relate to how you control your emotions, right? Now, some things, it may take you a long time to really get through it. And that's okay, right? Because when somebody hurts you, I think the biggest part is that forgiveness, right? You forgive yourself. And once you forgive yourself, you can say, I can forgive this person. Because most times, what we taught in Bible study is that when somebody hurts you, a lot of times, it's not even about you. And that's the hardest thing, because sometimes we make it about ourselves and say, damn, like, why did this person do this to me? Out of all people, like, why did they do this to me? But if you really look beneath the surface, most times it has nothing to do with you. A lot of times, like someone in my the group leader of all the Bible studies, she sat and observed me, and she said, hurt people, and sometimes brokenness attract brokenness. Or I think sometimes, to be honest, it's not about just brokenness attract brokenness. I think sometimes someone that's broken, they can attract someone that has something they don't have. Maybe it's a healing part in them that needs to still be healed. And it's just like, maybe if I attract myself to that person, they have something that I don't have, then maybe I can heal from that. But healing is your own journey. It's something that you have to be willing to do by yourself. But controlling your emotions, that's important. Like, how are you able to control your emotions? How are you able to manage your own feelings? Yes, it's okay to be sad. Yes, it's okay to be hurt. Yes, it's okay to be happy. But are you projecting your sadness, your negativity on other people? And if so, are you willing to make a change? A lot of times we have bad behaviors, but the question becomes, who's checking our bad behaviors, right? Who's checking those? Or can you hold yourself accountable and say, hey, you know what? I realized the way I approached this situation was very nasty. It was not good at all. And I need help trying to manage my emotions. And therapy is a big tool. Like, it is a big tool. And so how do you know you're on the right track to your healing journey? Is that the things that hurt you, yes, it can still hurt you, right? But you're able to look at that and say, what did I learn from it? You're able to look at it and say, you know what? I'm not even mad at the person anymore. I'm not mad at the thing anymore. I'm just taking day by day. In healing, you just take day by day. It's a progress, right? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You take day by day and say, you know what? Today, I'm going to make the decision to forgive myself. Tomorrow, I'm going to just see what that looks like. Because a lot of time when people say, hey, I'm going to forgive myself, people say, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. And this is all a part of your healing journey. And so when you're going through your healing journey and how you know you're on the right track, you have to really ask yourself, in my opinion, what does forgiveness for yourself looks like, right? If you say, I'm on this healing journey, I want to be better, things still bother me, but I'm going to make the decision to heal, but I have to learn how to forgive myself. What does forgiveness for myself look like? And so I can only speak for myself. I think for me, forgiveness for myself looks like this. To look at the situation and ask myself, how did I get there, right? Or if I stayed in a situation too long, if I stayed in a friendship or a relationship too long, I ask myself, how did I get there? And instead of bashing myself, able to really look at it and say, okay, is there a pattern? If there is a pattern, what do I need to do to break the cycle? And I've learned that, sometimes with friendships, relationships, I'm the person where I'm just like, hey, if there's one bad thing that happened, instead of me throwing it away, I'm like, well, hey, let's talk about this. Because one small conversation can clear up so much stuff. And I'm willing to say, hey, let's put our pride aside and let's have a conversation. And knowing how to tell somebody, hey, instead of saying, hey, you did this, I'm not going to say that because I control my emotions. I can say, hey, when you did this, this is how it made me feel. But be able to look at my own action. Like, forgiveness is saying, Dad, you know what, Sakina? Maybe the next time I won't look at it like this. And I think for me, it was a matter of, hey, I was being very understanding, but maybe this person was appreciative of this. Hey, I was being a kind-hearted person, and this person didn't know how to receive it. And I look back and say, you know what? Moving forward, it's all about boundaries, right? And so forgiveness for myself looks like being able to look at the situation, allowing myself to say, hey, I take some part in this, like really owning my own shit and say, you know what? I take ownership in this. I can see where it trickled down. I can see where it's just like it went from like 100 to like 0. I can see that. And I'm able to look at it and say, you know what? At the end of the day, I was a good person. But hey, I could be understanding, but also have boundaries. I could be understanding, but also speak up more and say, hey, instead of like cursing somebody out, like, hey, like you did this, like, hey, well, I know that moving forward, this is the type of conversation that I need to have. And if they don't understand that, that just shows how they feel. But I think the biggest thing where where I learned how to, where I look at forgiveness for myself and what it looks like for me, is being okay with knowing that my friends can never be me. Like sometimes we want a friend, like sometimes I'll see sayings that says, sometimes I need a friend like me. You know, I need a me in my life. And I told my girlfriend this last night. I said, you know, sometime in life, we want people to treat us how we would treat them. But most times we may never get that. And you have to look at a person and see what they're able to give you. And you have to ask yourself, and this is where the forgiveness for myself looks like, and say, hey, you know, I know what I want out of every aspect of people that's in my life, that's close to me. And I have to ask myself, well, are these the expectations that I'm putting on people? Like, hey, they're supposed to do this because I would do it? Or I'm allowing them, or I'm giving them the space to say, hey, I want you to be who you are. And I want to see, what are you willing to do for me? Or what are you willing to do for whatever situation? And then ask myself, is that enough, right? And I think that's important, because a lot of times we want people to show up for us the way we show up for them. And sometimes it leaves us with a lot of disappointment, right? A lot of disappointment, because you're like, damn, if it was me, I would do that. But this person is not you. And so forgiveness for myself looks like, hey, I'm okay knowing that the people that I call my best friend, the people that I call my friends, they may not show up how I would show up. But how they show up is good enough for me. Or if I feel like they're not showing up to how I want them to, maybe that's a conversation. Because assumptions, when you assume, you make an ass out of yourself. And so if you have friends in your life where you realize, hey, they're not doing much. And sometimes people have this idea like, well, they should know. No, come on, let's be realistic. Some people just don't know. And honestly, what forgiveness for myself looks like is realizing that I was expecting people to love me in a way that I know that I can love them, or how I love, because I know how to love on people. And I realized like that may be too much to ask for somebody that doesn't even know how to love themselves. And so I had to really look back and really say, you know what, in this healing journey, am I on the right track? Yeah, because I'm able to look at those things and say, hey, I was expecting this person to love me. Maybe it was a friend or whoever it was. I was expecting this person to love me. And I realized like, damn, this person don't even love their self. Like, that's selfish of me. Like, this person doesn't even love their self. So I can't even expect that. But what I do want for this person, and what I do pray for this person, is that they learn how to really love themselves. Because there's a lot of people out there that practice self-hate on themselves every single day. They wake up in the morning, they look in the mirror, they don't even know who the hell do they see. They look in the mirror and say, damn, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I love. I don't know what makes me happy. And so if you are expecting love from somebody that hates their self, that doesn't love their self, they don't know what self-worth looks like, they don't even know what self-care looks like, how do you expect them to give you the things that you ask for? Because if you do, you will disappoint yourself all the time. And so forgiveness for myself is able to look at those people that I had these expectations for and say, you know what, let me give them grace. And say, you know, even though I'm able to love them in a healthy way, I can't expect them to reciprocate, because they don't even know how to love themselves. And that's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. I never forget how I know that I'm on the right track with my healing journey is that I'm able to look at my life and say, you know what? I'm okay where I'm at right now. I don't want anybody's life. I damn sure don't. I know that what's meant for me, it will not pass me by. And I'm okay. And I never forget, one of my friends was like, yeah, Sakina, you want a relationship like mine. And I said, no, I don't. I don't. Because I only see what you allow me to see, right? And so you're posting all these beautiful pictures on social media, or you're telling me what you want to tell me. I'm only living in the image you want me to see. I don't know what the relationship comprised of. And I don't care. Because that's your relationship. I am team my friend. So if my friend is in a badass relationship, as long as this person not putting their hands on you, It's none of my business. My friends know I'm the most chill, laid back person. I don't do drama. I am a good person at minding my business. I don't bother nobody. My friends call me a grandma. That's okay. Grandma minds her business and get the checks rolling in. I don't bother nobody. And I tell my friends, your relationship, it is yours. It ain't mine. It ain't mine. I don't care. As long as this person not putting their hands on you, then it's a different story. Then you're going to see me come out of character, and I'm not going to be this girl that does Bible study, because if I really love you, then I'm not going to let nobody hurt you. That's it. But other than that, your relationship is yours. It ain't mine. I ain't in it. I don't know if you guys had a conversation, and I'm always big, like, if someone called me, like, yeah, this person did this in the relationship. I'm like, well, hey, did you talk to the person? Hey, you're telling me your point of view. I don't know their point of view. Why don't you go talk to them? Because that is your partner. It don't got nothing to do with me. But how about this? I'm going to pray for you guys, that you guys are able to thoroughly communicate with each other, but it don't got nothing to do with me. So she told me, and I was like, I really don't want your relationship. I was like, I don't. And I said, there's no shade at all. But I said, I know exactly what I want. And what I want is not what I see. Like that, I don't want that. I don't want that, sis. And it's okay. Like, it's okay. And so how I know I'm on the right track with healing is that I don't need to compare my life with anybody else. I don't need to do all that. I don't care. People bash me all the time, like, you're 35, I don't have no kids. You're right. Because I know who I pray for. And I pray that the man that I have a child with is a man that I marry. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay if I don't have a kid right now. I'm going to have one. I'm going to get married. Those are the things I prayed for. Those are the things I manifested. That's going to pass. The things that meant for me, they're going to happen for me. So I'm not worried about nobody else's timeline. I know what God told me, and he told me to be patient, and it's going to happen. He's like, before you even know, I'm like, God, you already know what type of ring I want. I don't care about a big wedding. I just want a healthy marriage. That's what I pray for. I don't care about that. At this point, I can go to the courthouse and be okay. Okay, I'll get a nice little dress and keep it moving. I just want a big house and a healthy marriage, a godly marriage, a marriage that put God first. I don't care about what I see on social media. I really don't care. I don't. But most importantly, how I know that I'm on the right track with my healing journey is that I had Bible study on Thursday. I had my therapy appointment on Friday. This meeting lasts 20 minutes, all right? 20 minutes. And typically they usually last like 45 minutes, sometime an hour, because I'm just like rambling off. After, I want to say maybe May of last year, like my therapist, she's like, we just talk about things that maybe bother me. But Friday was different. I was like, I just told her like, hey, I didn't talk to you for a while. I got a chance to talk to her about the party that I threw for my cousin, getting excited about my new job. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, I said that I feel like I'm in a good place. And I was like, I just feel like things are happening for me. And I said, now I'm just waiting for I said, I just been praying for other things that I've been praying for. And I said, I'm just patient right now. That's all I can say. Like, I'm going to just enjoy the moment. I said, I feel good. I feel great. I'm even more happy with the person that I see in the mirror. I'm very happy for that lady. And her name is Sakina Tillman. Latita is my middle name, but I hate it. But it's Sakina Latita Tillman. And I'm happy with the person I see in the mirror. I'm happy, and I'm able to say, somebody tried to bring up something in the past, something I did. I was like, okay, do you want a cookie for it? I really don't care. I made mistakes. I'm human. I'm not perfect. So if you want me to be perfect, sorry, you can go left, because it ain't me. And I'm able to look at myself and say, hey, man, I'm happy for the things I accomplished personally and professionally. I'm more than just a lawyer. I'm more than a law school professor. But I had to really do some healing work. I really had to hold myself accountable for the things I have done, for the things I have allowed. I'm able to forgive myself for everything and say, hey, I'm human. I don't need to bash myself. I can decide not to have somebody in my life but still miss them, and that's human. You don't have to just, I'm not this hardcore mean person. I have a heart and I care. But I realized that at this point in my life, The people that have access to me are the people that genuinely care for me and that appreciate me. I want to be around people that appreciate me. And so my energy that I exude, the energy that I give out to everybody, it's not for everybody. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay. And so my therapy session that last long, she was like, honestly, like, I have nothing to say. And she said, when the therapy sessions get shorter, that just means like you're on the right track. And she said, you know, I told myself after I did my therapy, I told you guys in January 2021. And I went through that for like 4 months, like consistently, where I was going every week because I was just really going through it. And after that, I told her, I said, you know what? I want to stay in therapy. And I said, it's not because like I was able to conquer and be a victor of the things that was holding me hostage. And I got through that. But I said, you know, if healing is a journey, I want to be able to say, like, hey, if something bothers me, like I need an outlet. Who do I talk to? Because sometimes I can't talk to my friends or, you know, my mom or close family members. Sometimes I need a neutral party. And I said, you know, I'll stay in therapy. And going to therapy doesn't mean like you're always going through things. But the thing is, life changes. Like, how do you deal with unexpected changes? And sometimes that may be hard. I know for me, sometimes it's hard for me to deal with unexpected changes, especially when someone dies that I'm really close to. Like, grief is something that's totally different. And I don't think you ever get over a person that dies. Like, that's close to you. I think you learn how to deal with it and how to deal with it every single day. My favorite aunt, her birthday is in 2 more days. And that bothers me. I'm able to cope and I'm able to manage my emotions, but I wish I can call her, right? And so it's able to look at those things and say, wow, look how far I have come. Look how far I have come. And I'm happy. And so how you know you're on the right track to your healing journey is that you're able to look at things that bother you once and say, you know what, I learned from that. The people that hurt me, I still wish them well. The people that hurt me, or the people that have done things, similar things, I'm able to look at it and say, you know what, I own my own stuff. You know, I've owned the part that I played. You really have to own your part, right? You really have to own it. And you're able to say, like, let's say that, and this sounds so crazy, and I told this in Bible study, I was like, it must be God doing the work in me because I wasn't always like this. And like the things that I be doing that's like really kind, I'm like, God, this has to be you because Lord knows it ain't me. It ain't me. Let's say that it was somebody that I cut off from years ago. And my therapist, she told me this last year. And the thing I like about my therapist is that she's a Christian. So, you know, she be, well, did you read this scripture, Sakina? Because I'm like, no, because I ain't doing it. She's like, read this scripture. I'm like, huh, okay. So, here's the thing about me. Boundaries are still in place. But let's say that there's somebody I didn't talk to in years. And maybe they hurt me. Maybe they did something that I said, like, honestly, like, fuck off, right? If they called me today and said, hey, can we link up? Depending on what happened, I may be willing to give them that space and listen to them, right? But I may say no. Chances are I may say no. I don't know. But let's say they call me and, you know, I love God, Christian woman, read the Bible, all the other good stuff. If they called me and said, can you pray for me? That will always be a yes. It sounds crazy. I know. Somebody may slap me like, Sakina, it can't be me. I know, right? But if they called me and said, can you pray for me? I would put all my feelings aside and I would pray for her. Over the phone. I would pray for him. I would. So that's how I know I'm on the right track with my healing journey. I pray that that you know that healing is a journey. It's not just a destination, and it's okay to go through things in life. That's all I have. I hope that you have a great Monday, and just never forget how amazing you are. Take care.